Hey guys, it's Erica. So I'm going to talk today about how the universe speaks to us and how you can start to hear the messages a little bit clearer. And this has to do with our time and attention, and where are we exposing ourselves to information that is preventing us from hearing what the universe is telling us. Our brains are bombarded with so much sensory overload every single day that we literally cannot process all the bits of information that our five senses absorb and take in. And so when we are bombarded with all of this data, information, bits of data, our minds will really only be able to process what we are aware of already, unless we take some time and be very discerning about how much information we are exposed to, how much data we are exposed to from our environment. And so one of the best things you can do to get more in touch with your information that the divine is trying to bring through to you, what your own intuition is trying to tell you, is to be very selective about how much information we allow into our gorgeous space of our minds and our hearts, and not continue to take in information that does not serve us. And what do I mean by this? We can get so busy between work, family, cell phones, the internet, messages, notifications. I mean, the news, the world events, everything coming at us, it's just bombarding us. So one of the best things you can do is to shut some of that off. Find some time in your day, find some private space where you literally close things off. If you are constantly being exposed to fear-based information, constantly being exposed to, for example, the news, that can really start to shape your outward experience, because that's the only information you're letting in. I remember doing leadership training years ago, and the person speaking was talking about the reticular activating system. It's a part of the brain that literally only notices that which is familiar. So for example, I'll give an example of how this works. Like when you go and you buy, suddenly you're interested in buying a certain car. The next thing you know, for the next week, all you see on the road is you're noticing that car. Every car you see is that car. And you're like, how in the heck could there be so many of these cars on the road? Well, they were always on the road. You just didn't notice them because you had never really been thinking about buying that car before. But the moment it became part of your awareness, all of a sudden your brain is tuning out all the other information, but noticing when that car is on the road. They were always there, and for me right now, like my example is I'm building a house and I'm looking at some of the landscaping I want to do with it. And I've fallen in love with the crepe myrtle tree. And everywhere I drive now, I'm like, crepe myrtle, crepe myrtle, crepe myrtle. And then I've driven by these trees a million times, but for the last week, that's all I've been seeing. And I'm like, oh, they're so pretty. So, but it's because my reticular activating system is now noticing that it's like every tree is a crepe myrtle tree now. All the other ones I don't see nearly as much. It's the only ones that are like popping out at me. But that's how it works. So if you're in a place where you're not tuning certain things out, for example, information, turning off the news, turning off the negative people in your life, turning off, your phone even for an hour, like you will survive if you turn your phone off for an hour. But doing this, what that will do is it's going to like give your vessel, your brain, an opportunity to maybe see new things, maybe notice new things that you never noticed before. Like have any of you ever like gone camping where there's no cell signal, thank God, and then you're just present? And how many of you in those moments have some of the best conversations you've ever had? How many of you have had like these things that you've figured out all of a sudden? Wow, that's the solution to the problem I've had for months. But you've just had so much noise around you that you haven't been able to become still and hear what the universe was trying to tell you as to how to solve that problem. This is why meditation is powerful. This is why, people go on silent retreats. They don't even speak. Not that I've ever done that, but I know people who have done that. And so be discerning with what you allow in your consciousness, because it has an incredibly powerful way of shaping your outward experience. So if you find yourself in a bad mood, if you find yourself down, if you find yourself stressed out and angry, look at where you can cut off sources of noise, of information, of data, bits of data coming towards you that are contributing to you feeling that way. I'll tell you, it just does the greatest thing for your soul, because you'll be able to start to hear what the universe wants you to know, which is ultimately where you're going to be guided towards your happiest, your most abundant, and your most fulfilled. So there you have it. Where are you discerning about what information comes to you? Maybe it's a person in your life. Maybe it's, an environment that you just don't like being in physically. Maybe it's turning off the phone. Maybe it's putting on a do not disturb. No, do not disturb is my best friend in the entire universe. But think about it. How are you being conscious about where you're allowing information into your brain? And how is that shaping your outward experience? So my friends, I hope that this has been helpful. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It does help other people find the channel. And until next time, bye.